What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard. It is the Monday night call or Monday afternoon call, whatever it is by now. Who knows? You know, you get old, you get tired, you got to go to bed earlier. In the meantime, markets, for those who aren't aware, we're open today electronically, which is basically they're always electronic. And I say to you that, in my opinion, within the next 2 years, if not sooner, every market will be open every day, 24/7. Okay, that's my opinion. We'll see what happens. Okay. Every trade has an upside, a downside, and a blind side. No shit. Leave the people stealing our money alone. Isn't that amazing? Now, don't you wonder how people could actually defend those that are stealing our money? Voters could actually defend those people because of their hatred. Makes no sense to me, I'll tell you that. Elon Musk is not going after citizens. Elon Musk is going after government. Everybody should be cheering for that. Don't you agree? Does anybody disagree that he's not going after you, he's going after the government? Does anybody disagree with that? Just out of curiosity? I mean, you should be thrilled. The founding fathers would be thrilled, I guarantee you that. They might vote him in as president, which he can't be. Anyways, to all my service people, God bless. Thank you so much for your service. I appreciate it. Families, veterans, all of you. Again, you made this country, and hopefully we can make America great again. But thank you so much for your service. Judge declines to halt Trump's firing of inspectors general. God bless America. Okay. That's what I want to hear. Get rid of them all. Okay. Isn't it time that the money and all the bullshit went away and that the money stayed with us, the people? Wouldn't that be nice? Okay. Extortion, how U.S. food prices have surged since Biden was elected. Well, I guess eggs are pretty expensive right now. I don't buy them. I don't go to the grocery store too often. But at the end of the day, I understand they're extremely expensive. And, again, as I said last week, I think it's amazing how the bird flu only affects people and chickens. It doesn't affect roosters, geese, and any other bird. It's just kind of an amazing thing. Taking away everything we have, Democrats, unions launch an existential fight over buyouts. Why would they fight over buyouts? I mean, that's at least they're getting something. I mean, I think it's pretty fair. You can just fire them and get rid of them. Okay. USAID rogue agency, so legally shut it down. And the Doge job cuts are a threat to Republican districts too. They're a threat to everybody. Does anybody believe that both sides of the aisle are both not corrupt? Does anybody believe that they're honest? Either side. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. Does anybody believe that they're not all a little bit of a criminal? Okay. And that's why they ran for office in the first place. I mean, I'm sure there's a few that aren't, but does anybody disagree with that? And you should be locked up is right. Okay. In the meantime, the words of wisdom from our friend Connie. You are always responsible for our emotional reactions. Okay. Of course, we need term limits. As usual, you hit the nail on the head, Connie. Thank you. Okay. Again, number one. Okay. You cannot get emotional. Okay. This is a business. It's a numbers game. Bang, bang. Do the right thing. Do the same thing. Do it over and over again. And take sometimes the consequences that goes with it. State of the Union. You got a lot today. Give a dem a fish and he'll eat for a day. Teach a dem to fish and he'll steal your rod, take your wallet, assault the fish, and then blame Trump. God bless. And of course, so you're saying that tobacco products on race cars will make people want to smoke, but gay and drag queen storybooks won't influence my life choices. Participation trophies are a joke. Teaching children how to handle winning and losing is a valuable life skill. Does anybody disagree with that? Now, I will give you an example from personal life. As many of you know, have been around well, knows Xander played baseball, and he played baseball all the way through college. When he played baseball when he was young, and he got a trophy for participation. He took the trophy in front of the coach, he broke it and threw it in a garbage can. Of course, he has me for a father, so you can imagine. Okay. But you have to learn winning and losing, I believe. I don't believe that participation is part of it. Okay. That they are elected officials, and the FSC have ivermectin and hydrochloroquine. It confirmed they would kill us to beat President Trump. Never forget the evil we are fighting. Okay, well, again, think about that. In the meantime, my bitch, dear haters, I have so much more for you to be mad at. Just be patient. Okay. Fuck you. If you hate what I say, don't listen. That's my words to you. You don't like what I have to say? Nobody is twisting your arm to listen. This is a free country. Okay. Don't go on social media. Don't send me these blind hatred things. You got the ball, step up. Okay. Because I don't really give a shit. Don't listen. That's my words to you. Okay. You're not happy with me? Don't listen to me. Okay. Anyways, back to business, back to real business now. Okay. All right. So in the markets, okay, the Dow, Yankee Michael, okay, was higher today. Okay. It is really just in the middle of nowhere. It is still 44,000 to 45,000. There is still not much to do. We'll see if that changes tomorrow. I don't know if it will or it won't, but 44 to 45, we have no position. The S&P, Echo Sierra, breaking out. Looks like it's going to try to make another new high. It is very overbought. I would certainly be looking to be a seller. I would give you a target right now where I would sell blind. Okay, I would work an order right now at 6,200. Okay, but again, if you're going to do that, you have to be willing to take the risk that can go with it. Okay, normally I tell you wait and watch the action, but because these things will trade overnight, if anything big happened overnight, I would love to track into that. Okay, but we are long. Okay, and I think that you're looking at now 61 to 62. We have broken out and we have held the breakout. So 61 to 62, and we are long. Okay. The NASDAQ, November, Quebec, which we have no position, same story in here, but I would want higher. Okay. 22,500 in the NASDAQ, I would be blind seller. 22,500, I would be a blind seller. I am working orders there anyways. And for those of you who trade with me Saturday, if it opens higher tomorrow, we'll probably be putting a trade on there to the short side, basically. In the meantime, 22.5, okay, and I think your support is 22,000, okay, which is obviously, if you've seen those last couple of Mondays before these two, I mean, they were 1,000-point moves, so it isn't that we're not that wide a range. The Russell, Romeo, Tango, Yankee, which we're long. Again, it's really in the middle of nowhere. It's very boring, very lackadaisical. 22.50 to 23.30. Okay, really done nothing. We are long that. We're long 2 out of the 4. Okay, and the VIX, again, there you go. The VIX is crawling along, so it's showing a massive amount of complacency. Yeah, I think I'm losing my mind. Too much complacency. Again, what does too much complacency eventually lead to? And I know that it's interesting. I know that Ray Dalio, I think, is now calling for a big sell-off. Remember, when these big assholes call for a big sell-off, be very leery of them telling you that they're expecting a big sell-off. Okay. They don't put things out just to put them out. Does everyone understand that? Okay. They don't put things out unless they're going to get an advantage from them. Okay. Now I know, we all know that Ray Dalio has been doing some buying, but yet now he's calling for a massive collapse. Okay. And I lived that life on the trading floor when big banks would pretend to be doing one thing, but they were really doing the other. So again, I'm just warning you, just because a very famous person says it, you know, if you go back in history, Elaine Gazzarelli, Joe Granville, all the guys who made the one-time call, but half the time in today's world, they're a little bit different. So just be careful. Okay, whatever they say is not necessarily what they really mean. That warning I will give you. Okay. In the meantime, Apple, Alpha Papa Lima. Okay, we are long. I'm assuming that we won't be long. We won't be long for too much longer, but certainly it is reaching up to that 247.5 that we were looking at from before. I think you're looking at now 235 to 247.5. We are long, but again, I would expect another update or two. If it's right away, we'll probably flatten out and take the money. Alpha Golf, again, notice it can't get there and break out. Now, somebody said they were selling puts. That's fine. Look, I'm not telling you not to trade it. I'm just telling you your probability is much higher that it's going to be a bigger winner with less pain if you wait until it breaks above $6 and holds. Okay. You want to buy it here? Look, I own it. Okay. And I'm never getting out of it. I always carry a core position here. This is a play on silver, in my opinion. You could play this as a blow off tomorrow if you want. Okay. But again, it still looks like it's only got 50 cents worth of room to work. I'm not really interested to try to just make 50 cents. Okay. If I'm in this trade to sell it at 20 or 25 or 30. Okay. Not at 6 or 7. I goof around with extra shares. And by the way, if you're not understanding what I'm talking about, this is when we don't trade. It's just something. I know people like to gamble a little bit and they got to be involved. And this is my way of keeping you out of the big stuff that gets you into trouble. Okay. I mean, if you want to buy this off the blow off, okay, you know, you can. I mean, I would say this is I think it's back to $5 support to $6. Now, gets down to 5, I would have no problem. I would not criticize anybody for buying it at 5. At 5.50, I don't think it's worth it. That's my opinion. Okay. $5 to $6 is the play. 5.50 is the key point to watch. Amazon, Alpha Michael Zulu November. Again, in the middle of nowhere. We have no position. Getting very tight in consolidation here, though. I would think now probably 225 to 235. Very narrow range, but you can see the action. I mean, the market is showing you that it's narrowing it up. There is no futures. It's AG is First Majestic. It's a miner that's involved with silver. That's just a cheap trade that I play with. It's not, it has nothing to do with anything we do here. It's one I've been covering for all the years I've done this call. I've carried that on because I always disclose what I am personally doing. Okay. Does that make sense? Okay. Again, I give you a full disclosure of my entire positions. I'm not looking to hide from anybody. Yeah, it's a play on silver. If you like silver, you believe silver could rally, it's a pretty cheap spot to buy it. Okay. And I own a lot of it, and I add on, and then I take it off, but I always carry a core. Anyways, 225 to 235 in Amazon. Bido, Bravo, India, Tango, Oscar. Hovering along the bottom line. I would suspect this is going to be a little bit lower tomorrow based on what Bitcoin's doing now. I think still 22 to 24. And again, this does pay a monster non-qualified dividend. Okay. Pays a monster non-qualified dividend, which means you pay normal tax on it. But again, I own this stock, although I bought it originally in the 30s. By the time all the dividends I've gotten it, I basically own it for free. Okay. BitQ, which is another Bitcoin play. And again, these are things I give you that I own. We actually bought this or recommended it live on this call at $3.47. Okay. And we've traded it quite successfully. Right now, I would think 17 would be a great entry or a great add if you're not in it already. Okay. I would wait, okay, for it to come to 17. I think right now, if you're looking at it, 17 to 19. Okay. Trading at 1880, I'm really not, or 1830, I'm really not interested. Okay. I have my core position on. I don't have any extra, but I will add to that core at 17. Obviously, now this is one, I got to see the action at 17. I'm not just telling you to blindly buy it at 17 versus AG. If you want to buy it at 5, you can blindly buy it at 5. Where's it going? It's a big option with no time to kill. Okay. Coin Charlie Oscar India November. Well, they had earnings last week. It was no big deal. It's still, believe it or not, it's still stocked 260 to 300. Think about that. Okay. It had earnings and it's still stuck 260 to 300. Hasn't changed. It didn't get out of the range. It stayed right in that range. Crowd, Charlie Romeo Whiskey Delta. Okay. We have no position in this, but it continues to spike higher. I would assume a short position will be forthcoming. I would think that 460 should be pretty much a top here. And again, not forever, just for now. This is almost a cup and handle classic breakout. And you have to assume it's making new high after new high. It's going to have some sort of a pullback. It's been overbought for quite a while. I would think that you've got 440 as support. I think there's a great chance it trades back to 420. Okay, but for today, 440 to 460. But I would be looking, and again, the way that I would sell it would sell some call spreads. And I would initially sell call spreads that were just out of the money. Okay. And then if it started to break my way, I would then add in the deep in the money call spreads. Okay. And actually create a synthetic put. Okay. Meta, Michael Echo Tango Alpha, just makes new highs. I can remember this one was $16. Imagine it. Just keeps making new highs. Again, there's nothing to do here. It's not overbought anymore. Obviously, the next target would be 775 on the upside, where I'd be willing to take a look at it as a potential sell. I think you're looking at 715 to 775. Google, Golf Oscar, Oscar Golf Lima. Okay, we're still short, and we're here hovering. I would say that more than likely, if it's an update tomorrow, we'll probably cover and go neutral, go flat here. But nothing's really changed. It's still 180 to 195. Okay, with 190 being the swing level. IWM in the USD Michael, virtually nothing going on. 224 to 230 hasn't changed a bit. Microsoft, Michael Sierra Foxtrot Tango, we are long. Okay, looks like 405. Geez, I think we've been there before. I think it's 405 to 420 right now. 405 to 420. MSTR. We haven't made a trade here yet. It's pretty wild, but now it seems to be calming down. If this gets to 300, okay, I would look at it to sell some put spreads. Okay, I think you're 300 to 360. Okay, and I'd rather be. This is one I'd rather be long to the long side than the short side. I trade either side, but at these levels, I'd much rather be to the long side. But 300 to 360. Nugget, November Uniform Golf Tango. Well, we talked about this Monday, and we said that it should be sold. And of course, it did work out just fine. Okay. In the meantime, the levels themselves have not changed, 50 to 55. So it's amazing how much action can happen internally, even though we're still in the same range we were before. Okay. NVIDIA, which we're long, and this continues to go higher. Okay. I think they have earnings this week. Yeah, there's earnings this week, so there's really not much to do. Again, as I always tell you on earnings, on this, I will play if it breaks above or below the expectation of movement, which is the earnings are next week. I'm sorry. I'll talk about this next Monday, but right now, if it moves $15 either way, I'm a buyer or a seller. I own it personally. We're long it in our portfolios. But again, I would think that right now 130 is the support level, and I think we're coming up to a little resistance up here at 140. Okay, and you do have earnings, so that is the one quirk in the ointment there. So I'd be careful. Okay, the Qs, Quebec, breaking out the new highs. Well, certainly I'm a seller. Okay. If I'm doing anything here, and I'm not telling everybody to go out and sell, okay, it is overbought. They open higher tomorrow. I would certainly be a seller. Okay. Again, it's not that I'm bearish. It has nothing to do with it. It is purely a pattern play. Okay. 540, I am selling. Okay. I may be wrong and I may lose money. but at $5.40, $540, I'm selling. Okay. I will first start by selling daily spreads, but I will want to build a bigger short position if it continues. Okay. I think you're 530 to 540. SMCI, look what happened there. Huh. From the bottom, from the ashes, we rose, and I think 50 is pretty clear resistance. I think 40 is support. That's a big move for a $10 stock, for a $40 stock, but look at it move. I mean, again, that you can say anything you want. The bottom line is the stock moves like a wild banshee. Yeah. XYZ, which is square. Okay. XYZ looks like 80. Do they have earnings this week? They have earnings this week. Okay. So it's 80 to 88, but really I would just sit by and I would tell you that if the earnings are the expected move this week is $9.50. Okay. So if this stock moves $10 in either direction or more, I will be taking the opposite side of the trade. I don't care which way it goes. If it moves up 10, I'm a seller. If it moves down 10, I'll be a buyer. Okay. This is purely a math play. They've already overpriced movement at 13%. Okay. So it moves 15 or 16%. I'm definitely taking the opposite side as a trade, and we'll see how it works out from there. The SPY, Sierra Papa Yankee. Well, it looks like I have to respect 615, although that's a new high, but 615, 600 to 615. Tesla, Tango Sierra Lima Alpha. Okay, we are along this, and there it was, long off the bottom here. I think you're looking at 330 to 375. Win, Whiskey Yankee November. Gigantic move up, but again, where's it really? It's really in Nowheresville, right? Okay. If I were going to trade with the win, I do own it. But if I were going to trade it here, I'd be looking for a spot to sell it at like 90. Okay. And that would be provided to, again, that has to be based on the action taking place when it gets there. Okay. This is not like the futures trades I gave you or the AG that were automatic. This is all based on the price action when it gets there. It certainly is a blow off to the upside. Okay. So it certainly deserves to be sold. Okay. So now we got to see if we can get a legitimate reason to go ahead and do that and sell that. Okay. I'm going to give you level 80 to 90. I'm going to give you counting 80 to 90. XBI still 88 to 94. Hasn't changed in weeks. XLE, which I don't trade at all, but some of you like it. So it's 88 to 92. And Zoom, well, again, got up to the upper level. Again, I've been wrong more often than I've been writing the stock. I still believe it's going to shit, but that's an opinion, which is not what we trade off of. I think you're looking at 80 to 88 is where I'd be looking here. And I got to check my bet on TLT. How am I doing? I'm doing okay. Okay. Any questions? Anything you want? Anything you want me to look at for you? NBIS, November Bravo, India Sierra. November Bravo, India Sierra. Looks like it's trying to break out. I certainly, looking at this chart, okay, I would love to be a buyer at 40. I cannot, it could go to the moon, okay, but I cannot be a buyer here at this overbought position, okay. It may keep going again, but I think I'll get an opportunity to buy it at less. And again, I'm not negative, it looks great. I just can't buy into an overbought market. I think I'm taking too much risk, okay. MPW, Michael Papa Whiskey. You know I don't look at fucking $5 stocks, okay, penny stocks. Do you have a story on this stock? Is there a story behind the reason you're asking? Okay, tell me if there's a story. What's their symbol, honey? I don't know what their symbol is. Give me the story. I mean, the stock looks like shit. Okay. But obviously there's been a couple of pops, so there's obviously a story behind it. Okay. REGN, excuse me. biggest tenant went bankrupt. Okay. That's the story. Okay. So now, when did they go bankrupt? When did their biggest tenant go bankrupt? Now we can talk about it. 6 months ago? So that would take us to here, right? Now, it may be worth, look, if you're a player in this kind of stuff, maybe it's worth looking at. Okay. I certainly won't fault you. If the news is already played out, we talked about this. I'll get to the rest of a minute. We talked about that kind of story with this one. Remember SMCI when it got down to like $15, okay, on bad news, and then it recovered. I would have no doubt. In fact, I'm going to look closer into this. I might buy it. Okay, I don't pay that much attention, but now that I know what the story is, I'm going to look at it. I'm going to watch it. It may be worth a shot. Is my point. Okay. REGN. Isn't that a pharmaceutical? Romeo, Echo, Golf, November. Wow, this is really taking it on the chin. Wow. Well, I think 640 is a must hold. It's the right spot. Okay. Are you looking at this as an investor or trade? There's two ways I'm going to look at this. Tell me what you're looking at it for. In the meantime, I think 640 is a level. Either way. If you're looking to buy it and hedge it, you're looking to create it, whatever you want to do. I think it's 640 to 720. Okay, trade. I would look at it at 640 for a trade. I think it's a reasonable shot. That'll pop. It may pop sooner, but again, I can't get them all and I can't always be right. But the 640 area is where I'd be looking. Land. Well, first of all, KC Stores. Does anybody know the symbol there? Let me ask for KC General Stores. This must be it. Looks pretty good. I know they do a big business. Okay. If I were looking at this, I mean, 430 would be someplace I'd look at it. Okay. Look at the good looking chart. Okay. Good looking information. They're in every dang gas station you travel to. Casey's General Store. Land. Broke out earnings. Too tough to call anything here. Certainly, I'd like to be a buyer around 10. Okay. But I don't know nothing about it. And this is not one that I would put in the top of my list. Okay. AGNC used to pay a monster dividend. Do they still pay a monster dividend? I quit trading them years ago. I mean, again, this is the problem. I mean, it's breaking out, it's overbought, yet it's $10. It used to be always around 20. Now it's at 10. These are subprime. I don't know if they're subprime numbers. They're lenders to the less fortunate. Okay, them and who's the other one? 13% yield. Who's the other one I'm thinking about? That was a big name. Another mortgage company. What's their name? Who remembers? Any of you remember? Anyways, to me, you're only playing this for the dividend. Okay, if you're playing it. Okay. It's never going to have the appreciation of a normal stock. Does that make sense? The two you just told me are not worth anything. Okay, NTR, November Tango Romeo. And this looks okay. I like this around 50. Okay. Looks fine. I mean, just breaking out, 50 should hold. William Sonoma, William Michael Sierra. This is under some pressure, right? Right? That can't be right. Is that right? William Sonoma is what? That's the wrong symbol. WMS. That's not the right symbol. WSN. There you go. I knew it. I knew the chart didn't look right the minute I saw it. This looks pretty solid. Okay. If I were, I'd look at this. I'd like to buy it at around 200, but I would look at it at 210. WMB, Whiskey Michael Bravo. Looks okay. Looks solid. Looks like it wants to go higher. And they pull back. It did everything you would ask for. Okay. Got overbought, pulled all the way back. Got overbought, pulled all the way back. Okay. Now we're coming back again. Again, to me, I'd like to look at this lower, but certainly depending on how you're going to trade. If you're going to hedge it right away, you can buy it anytime. Okay. But certainly you can see the pattern has been very consistent. It's all right. All good. All right, well, let's see what happens. Is there any news this week of note? Is there anything worthwhile of note? FOMC meeting on Wednesday. Are they supposed to cut again? And does it matter? Do you want to get screwed again so that the banks can even make more money off of your money? Okay. This is the problem that I have. Okay. The Federal Reserve, the Fed funds rate have come down 100 basis points, and the 10-year notes have gone up 100 basis points, which means you and me got screwed. Okay. We didn't get any benefit of the rate cuts, although everybody loves them. Okay. The spread is now 200 basis points more than it was before. A lot of the bastards is right. All right, sports fans.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.